Hi, it's Mark Rushton of markrushton.com. It is Sunday, early afternoon, December 13th, 2020. And this is the first video of the day. Later tonight, I will be doing a realtor recon. Where should artists live? I think it's episode number 4. And got some interest, a smaller number of places sort of picked out. And I'll talk about those because that's going to make that its own segment there. But that's later tonight, because I like looking at real estate and talking about it. So that's what I'm going to do here. Yeah, it is Sunday, December 13th. We still have snow all over the trees here. The sun came out briefly this morning, and that's what it looked like from our bedroom window. That's looking up towards the roadway, which normally you'd be able to see this time of year because all the leaves are down, but all the snow is obscuring that right now. And I'll show you some other pictures from around here. So this is yesterday. This was me walking back from picking up the mail, and the weather. I think we had about 4 inches of snow. It was just the super thickest, wettest stuff. I mean, just shoveling the driveway and using the roof rake a little bit on the house. It was heavy, very heavy for 4 inches of snow. But absolutely beautiful there, especially when you apply a few filters to everything. It makes it look that much more artistic, I guess. And that's more the realistic there. Yeah, but there's our house from the street, from the road, the private drive, and there's from the kind of from the bottom of the little hill up to the main roadway and where we pick up our mail. And that's looking out one of the decks into the back 40. And the Three Seasons porch. And that was before the plow came through yesterday morning. Anyway, that's where we are. I am going to go up and see John Harnish today. The roads are plowed. They're fine. And so I'm going to go up there and maybe record a little bit at his place. We'll see. Spent the morning getting data off my late father-in-law's laptop. Finally got around to that. I didn't know his password for his administrative password. I had an idea what it was, and got into it, and eventually I figured it out, and then obviously removed it, and removed his what few documents were on there. Not much. But the main thing is, like, if you've got relatives, have them write it down somewhere. Just put it. I don't need to know it. Just write it down and have it somewhere. It'd be nice to have, because there was actually a bill in there for something that was sent to his email. Oh my gosh. And just getting the computer hooked up to your printer, and all you got to download the drivers, and it takes a year the computer's really old. It's Windows 7. It's got a spinning platter. It just took forever. And but I don't mind. I helped him out with stuff over the years. TeamViewer, Advisor, and stuff like that, helping diagnose problems with his computer setup and his cell phone and everything like that. And very happy to do it. Anyway, where are we here? That's what I did this morning, and got some donuts. Oh, I'm sore. Anyway, why it's important to talk about art. That's one thing I've really enjoyed here with this past month of using StreamYard. And that's John. What's John saying here? John's shopping for speakers and monitors, displays, not speakers and visual displays. I have to be careful with that word monitors, because monitors could mean speakers or monitors could mean a visual display. To be careful with that. So, why it's important to talk about art. And one thing I always had trouble with over the years was just talking about my art, whether it would be the music that I create, the sounds I create and edit, or visual art. I always had a hard time with that. And yeah, you can join forums and you can type stuff out, but the trouble with typing it is that you lose, there's no nuance. There's no nuance with typing it out, because people interpret text different ways. You really got to be careful. I suppose you have to do that too with your what you say. But I think, if you're sitting around a table and everybody's talking and you see people talking and you are used to their body language or, what they say, or any of that sort of stuff. Like you pick up on those visual cues. Those are signs that, should be interpreted a particular way, or you can explain yourself, inflection of your voice or whatever. But that's one thing I didn't really kind of get with blogs or forums or even chatting. It just especially something on back in the Facebook days, put something up there, talk about it. It's what's the word? It's very two-dimensional, one-dimensional. The no nuance. There's that line in the movie Diner. It's said by the actor Paul Reiser. It's like, nuance isn't really a word. You never really know where you are with nuance. Gesture. You know where you are with gesture. You don't really know where you are with nuance, that's kind of funny. But so yeah, why it's important to talk about art. And I'm still struggling with this here, even in this forum here. It would be nice to interview kind of more people, do sort of one-on-ones and all that. I know these don't get seen that much, and it's not really about creating anything, being popular, creating a community. This is more about me. This is more working on trying to talk about things, So I can show a painting here, maybe talk a little bit about it, try to get better with that. Or something like my discography here. Pick an album out there, talk about it, talk about what my thoughts were at the time, how I made it. Those are difficult things for me. And so I've never been good at promotion or anything like that. So this is getting in front of the camera, talking without a script. See, when I made podcasts, and I think I'm done making podcasts. I've done that for 16 years. And for me, I'm kind of tired of it, because I always scripted out everything that I said in the podcast. I would write it out ahead of time, and I'd try to read it in a way which didn't seem like I was reading it, because I always felt that I wasn't very good with speaking off the cuff, because I tend to have this sort of halting thing, and you need to have, I don't know, it's like that, like just like that, right? I'm kind of not quite comfortable with it. I'm not quite comfortable speaking. Like some people, they get on and they talk about things, and they're very good at talking about things, being interviewed, and it's just a matter of practice, just a matter of doing it more. So that's what I'm going to try to do with that, as far as like eventually get in here and start talking about the discography. And again, this ties back to working your catalog, and not just making playlists out of the albums or something like that, or however you want to promote them, but actually having me spending time 20 or 30 minutes or 10 minutes or however long talking about an album. All these albums in here. Like, how did they come about? Which distributor did I use? Was it a big pain? Was it easy? Some of these I released on CD. What was that like? Might be kind of interesting. There are stories there. So it's a way of telling stories, but I got to get more comfortable with talking about that sort of stuff, because I think telling the story, particularly about the art and how it's made, that's a good thing. And also, other things, art influences, what it was like to go to art school, some of my favorite art books. Yeah, anyway. So that's why, okay, this is just going to be a real short video here. But yeah, this is why it's important to talk about art. And this is sort of a one-way conversation, but I would love to have sort of a back and forth with somebody else, with other people in this forum, like doing interviews and things like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. Not necessarily me talking about me with somebody else, but, trying to be a good, I don't know, Dick Cavett. I've been watching old Dick Cavett lately, from like the late 60s and early 70s. And those are like super fascinating. Other things too. That era is just gone, and it needs to come back, as far as I'm concerned, because the things that are considered sort of interview shows these days it's garbage and unwatchable. And so that's why I think creating things like this, I could be wrong. Maybe people do like garbage, right? But keeping things a little more focused on the music and art. Stop bringing other things into it, because like, for example, on a lot of forums, a lot of artists, musicians and fine artists and all that sort of stuff, they get endlessly obsessed about politics, and it just poisons everything. And I've had a philosophy for a long time, a philosophy about things. And it's like, I'm really going to care about politics when the politicians start talking about art, which is they're never going to talk about art. All they're going to talk about is they're going to be the opposite of the TV preacher, right? So that's why I kind of want to keep everything kind of semi-focused, even if I tend to ramble and all that sort of stuff. And then I have these little side things too, where should artists live, the Real to Recon, why artists should create playlists, getting these little episodic things in here. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm having fun. Doing this. It's a good exercise for me. And should other artists do it? Yeah, why not? But I don't let this, I don't let this sort of thing overpower my life in any way. I spend a little bit of time every day kicking it out. And it has been beneficial for me here in the last month, 5 weeks that I've been doing this. And anyway, we'll leave it there. We're at 15 minutes. I got to go have lunch, drive up to Cedar Rapids, and see what's up with John. I still have not edited last week's. I've still have not edited last week's recordings. I'll have time here in the next. I got a few more days of the day job, and then off for 2.5 weeks. I can edit it then. No big deal. It's beautiful out there. Let's see if I can real quick. Yeah, it's pretty out there. It is a winter wonderland. All right. Have a good day. And we'll be back later this evening with Realtor Recon. Where should artists live? It'll be fun. And here's John calling me right now. Goodbye.